And then we get to the hospital and the patient codes, and it's just like, it sucked. You know, if I could go back, could I have done anything? No, I couldn't. You take turns with your partner. Some people prefer to drive, some people prefer to tech. So I am the person who prefers to tech. Now, if the patient vomits, if the patient bleeds in the back of the truck, if the patient urinates or has some sort of fecal incontinence, that's kind of like the unspoken rule that the driver has to take care of that. You know? It's the hours in training, and it's what interventions you are able to provide. Being an EMT was awesome. You get all the stabbings, the gunshots, the jumper downs. It's very exciting. But there was a point where, as an EMT, you just feel like, I know what I can do for this patient, or I know what they need, but I'm unable to do it because it's out of my scope of practice. And then being in the field and practicing paramedicine, it's like, wow, this shit works, you know? Put your thoughts or your day to the side and just imagine that we're going to your family member. And how expeditious do you want us to be? How fast do you want us to respond? How would you want your fellow man or woman to provide courtesy so that we can get to that emergency? Yes, it sucks. It sucks big time. You don't have access to a restroom. And if you are a lady and you are dealing with some issues, it is a pain in the ass. And I have been in a few post or 1089s at my Cross Street location that's assigned to me that really sucked. There's even reports of members having shots fired at them while they were sitting in the ambulance. Oh, it depends on the call type. Oh my gosh, I haven't done that in a while. Let me look it up real quick. Do I remember that? Or just looking at the area in which I'm responding to. Is it a more dangerous than normal area? So, you know, what do I have to look out for? You know, you have people that you just respond and they throw things out the window. Or they give you an issue walking into a building because they say that they see a uniform, you know. And our uniforms and the NYPD's uniform to the general public, you're just both in dark blue. This gentleman said he just retired, and so he always wanted to smoke weed. He's like, I couldn't wait till I retired so I could finally smoke. And he had like the worst paranoia. He couldn't breathe, his chest was hurting. Yeah, he was seeing things, you know. So I told you, gotta stay away from that stuff, you know. It's not the same good old stuff that it used to be back in the day, you know. That we're ambulance drivers. I really feel like people who have no clue the significance of the service that we provide. It's so vital, you know, us responding pre-hospital emergency medicine and having personnel in the field, in the street, you know, to reduce fatality or just to provide a better quality of life outcome. It's so important. So we responded to a 9-year-old female in cardiac arrest. When we got there, I noticed that there was lubrication on the floor. I noticed that there was condoms in the room. Supposedly this 9-year-old individual hung themselves with a roll of gauze. And so everyone just started packaging the patient, and we were asking the household members certain questions, and the answers were back and forth. First it was one way, then it was this way, and the affect of the parent. It wasn't a state of shock, which I've seen many times, and it wasn't a state of sorrow. It was just as though this is an event that occurred to my child, and I'm not really affected by it. Like, we were all more affected by it. But what can we do? We're only there to provide medical care. In that case, there was a suspicion of child abuse and maltreatment, so we performed a scan report. And we just send that to the appropriate authorities. You know, they perform their investigation, and we really get no notification as to the outcome of that story, you know? So that job just really, really sucked. I had a call recently that I wish I could do over, but when I replayed in my head, I don't think I would have done anything differently because I did all I could for the patient. I got to the scene, I performed a rapid assessment. I didn't allow the patient to exacerbate themselves or their conditions. We carried the patient down 4 flights of steps. We didn't waste any time. It was very expeditious in going, downstairs and providing the treatment that we could. And then we get to the hospital and the patient codes, and it's just like, it sucked. The patient was a female. She was young. If I could go back, could I have done anything? No, I couldn't. I process my feelings with a few close people that I can trust, and definitely the doctors and the nurses, the staff and the ED. And then just spending time with my loved ones, spending that time with my family, making sure it's quality time, that I'm just not coming home and recuperating, just sleeping and just getting back up to go do it again. So I really, over the years, have learned to try to balance my life. And my alcohol consumption has went up a little bit.